Right, Sistas fans. At first, I was doing this video just talking about Andi and the fact that slowly but surely it seems like, and this isn't at fault of Fatima at all. I'm not blaming Fatima at all. Please don't get that idea. But it just seems like Fatima is slowly becoming the new Karen in terms of her being Andy's best friend. And from there, as we saw in the last episode, with Danny warming up to Fatima more, I think that at some point, Karen's going to be axed from the group because of the fact that in some ways she's been so hung up on trying to get Zach back and whatnot that she's really not been feeling like part of the group. She's just really been, chasing after this man who's moved on. And, heaven help the member of the Sistas group name, that actually doesn't think ill thoughts about Fatima. And, when you look at Karen, she's been asking, is Danny still mad at me? Is Danny still mad at me? She's not answering my phone. And, especially with her being on lockdown, thanks to her mom and now Aaron, it just seems that at some point, the girls are just going to be like, hey, it's kind of like, New Edition. It's like Bobby Brown, you're kicked out of the group. We're bringing in Johnny Gill. So now it's like Karen's out of the group and we're bringing in Fatima. Or the Temptations, David Ruffin, you're out. Dennis Edmonds or Edwards, you're in. I think it was Edmonds, right? I was just watching the Temptations last night. I feel bad. Dennis Edmonds or Edwards. I forgot. I think it's Edmund. But in any case, I think the key indicator here is Andi, of course, because when you think about it, Andi in some ways has been treating Karen like Danny and Sabrina when you look at Karen and Andi from season 1. One of the big plot points between the sisters in season 1 was Danny hating the fact that, Andi and Karen would keep stuff from, the rest of the group. They would keep things between them without telling Danny and Sabrina. And when you look at the letter reading thing at Karen's apartment for that dinner, Andi lied to Karen, acting like she had no idea the dinner was taking place. Then that Fatima showed up as well. And then when she got off the phone with Karen and Fatima came in the office, Andi wanted that tea. Hell, even in the recent episode, Karen was like, I know your girl already told you what went down. Nope, I don't know what you're talking about, but hey, that's my cue to get off the phone, Karen. It just seems to me like Karen is being, replaced. And it's either, hey, you come around to welcoming and, Fatima to the group and all, or you just don't be part of it. And like I said before, I think I said this online somewhere in the video or in a live or on a, stream. I was like, hey, Karen's going to end up being alone with that baby. She going to chase Aaron completely off. Zach obviously isn't coming back. And she's like just isolated herself from the sisters. And another thing, I need to really either make a short or something about this, but I think lately we've really been seeing, the differences between Andi and Karen and Andi and Fatima, where Fatima, it's like she said the other episode, it's like, I got your back. And then Andi's like, you always do. And then with Karen, it's almost like you're only a friend to her if you're useful to her. Like, remember when Andi came over to the salon? And this was when, Miss Lisa was still there. When Andi showed up and Karen hugged her and she's like, oh, Karen, that was a big hug. You've never hugged me like that before. Because she was happy to see Andi only because she needed her to do something for her. And anytime you see how they talk with each other, it's like Karen is talking to Andi instead of talking with her. It's like, even though Karen absolutely right in terms of, the Gary, situation, she's just talking down to Andi like, a condescending mother or authority figure as opposed to talking as a friend. And I think when it comes to Fatima's more understanding and patient. And, she straight up says, hey, I can't tell you what to do, but I think that you ought to cut his ass loose because he's no good. And you look at how Fatima's more patient and understanding. And when you're talking with Fatima, you're talking with Fatima and she's talking with you. She's not talking at you. Karen's more of a blunt, straight to the point. You need to do A, B, and C. Now shut the hell up. Let me tell you about my problems. That's kind of how it feels. With Danny, you know, hey, she vouches for Fatima. Sabrina's a follower, so she'll do whatever, but also keep it this way. Look at it from this perspective. Once she finds out that, you know, Fatima was part of the reason why Andi could eventually help get her out of jail, she's going to come around as well. So I just really feel like Karen is going to be booted from the group. And the craziest part is Fatima doesn't even want to be part of the circle at all. Remember that. Like in the, you know, a few episodes ago, right before Zach went to Karen's. Oh, are you part of the sister circle now? Oh, no, I'm not part of the sister circle. I'm part of the Andi circle. My circle. So it's kind of interesting because just like when she wanted to leave the office when Danny was with Andi and Andi was like, Fatima, come in here. It's like Fatima can help. It's like, you notice how Fatima doesn't want to be dragged into this, but, you know, slowly but surely she is. So I think at some point, Karen's going to have to make that decision. And look, if she decides not to interact because of Fatima, it's like, you know how it is, like, you know, when somebody, friend is your, hey, you know, we're at Domino's or something, just chilling, you know, grabbing a bite of pizza, you want to hang out? Who all over there? And then it's like, if the one person who you don't want to interact with is there, but all your friends are there, you decide not to go. Well, that's on you, but hey, better to not show up than to show up and just cause unnecessary tension and make it uncomfortable for everybody, you know? So I can't fault Karen for not wanting to be involved with the group because how they, you know, flock to Fatima, but she does need to realize that if she doesn't, you know, lighten up, and I'm not saying she has to like Fatima, I'm not saying she has to be friends with Fatima, but if she doesn't really, you know, change something, all her friends are going to be gone. And it really has to do with her looking at her friends as friends instead of just, you know, I guess you could say friends with benefits. And I don't mean that in a sexual way, but I mean the benefit of doing her favors, listening to her vent, blindly validating her feelings. Because you know what's going to happen. The girls hanging out with Fatima, liking Fatima, victim. Karen's going to play that victim card. See, nobody's on my side. I was here first. I was there for y'all. I did this, and this. That's Karen's problem. She always tries to like throw in your face whatever whatever she's done for you, as opposed to being a real friend. Like, you know, when you do something for a friend or someone you care about, it's not about keeping tabs. It's about, you know, just helping out a friend. But Karen is like, you're only as valuable to her as you can be helpful to her. Like, if she doesn't really have a need for you, she's probably not going to hang out with you that much. Keep in mind, how often since episode 1 have we just seen Sabrina and Karen hang out? Danny and Sabrina hang out. You could almost argue Andi and Karen hang out. I mean, they've had a couple times, you know, where they stayed at each other's apartments, but that's about it. And that was only in the midst of a crisis when, you know, oh, you know, Gary broke my heart, or he bruised my ribs, or, you know, I'm leaving the penthouse and yada, yada, yada. But that's it. So, yeah, I could see Fatima unintentionally replacing Karen, which I think will piss her off even more. It's like, look, I don't want to be part of this circle. And then Karen's going to be pissed off. Oh, so you too good for us? No unnecessary drama. Trust me, I got my own circle and there's enough drama going on in there. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think that at some point Fatima will replace Karen? But then again, that's her own fault. I don't really care. So whatever. So like and subscribe, follow me on social media, and I will catch you in the next one.